What's up, you guys? Gypsy Fox. So I'm making this video for Jim Rizzoli, and it is just about trucking and kind of an update with me. I recently posted a video of me being in an accident in the parking lot of a truck stop. I've received a lot of negative comments in regards to like how I reacted to it, and what you got to know about what happened to me in the truck stop. I was parked sleeping in my semi truck out cold, and an experienced truck driver was backing in, and so like trucks will back into parking spaces, right? And every once in a while, it's rare, but somebody will like clip a mirror, right? This guy didn't clip my mirror. He hit me at like a 45-degree angle, like crashed into me with his trailer. And you got to understand, those trailers, when a trailer's fully loaded and you calculate the weight, there could be almost 80,000 pounds, right? So let's say that the guy that hit me was fully loaded and he was like at 79,000 pounds. He didn't clip me. He crashed into me. He hit me so hard, he destroyed the door, he destroyed the frame around the door, busted the window, broke all the mirrors, and there was no way for them to like do a simple repair and put me back on the road. Like if he would have clipped me, they could have fixed the mirror, I'd be back on the road, no big deal. But he destroyed my semi truck. He put me on the sideline. He hit me so hard that my back and my neck still hurt. I don't know if you could see it, but I had a cut on my forehead. When he hit me, my head hit the wall in the back area where I was sleeping. I was bleeding, had a big knot on my forehead. And people were like, "Oh, Gypsy, you reacted in a negative way." As I stated, that doesn't happen, especially in a parking lot where it's wide open. Like that parking area was wide open. The second very bad thing was my company that I work for sent me the video, because we have cameras on our windows here. And the dude not only hit me, he tried driving off. So he was going to do a hit and run. And luckily, another trucker out in the area saw him, hit him with his brights and kind of blocked him in. And then I was up by then and I hit my horn. And the reason why I reacted to the guy was because that doesn't happen. Like you don't get hit, you get clipped. This guy hit me. He had like 6 feet on both sides. So it's like how does this happen? And it was a wide open parking area. He did not even have to park next to me. It was bizarre. It was like one of those things to where like, why did this, like, how could this have happened? You know what I mean? And when I reacted to him negatively and was pissed off, it was because the guy, he did not even care. He wasn't like, "Hey, check it out, Holmes. I apologize. I just, I hit you, you're sidelined, you're screwed, I apologize." Didn't even apologize. He was worried about his trailer, And he got pretty heated, and he was smart to move, right? He ended up moving. I was just like, "Hey, I don't want you near me, Holmes. You can't park somewhere else, dude. You destroyed my thing." So I was sidelined. The next day, a truck had to come, like a tow truck had to come get me and tow me into Iowa, like 250 miles, right? Long story short, I was sidelined for 8 days. So you multiply, I don't know, 600 miles times 8, or let's just say 500 times 8. 500 miles a day times 8. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That's 4,000 miles times 60 cents, 6, 12, 18, 20. Wait. Do the math. 60 cents times 2,400 miles, or excuse me, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so 4,000 multiplied by 60, 6, 12, 18. That's $2,400. I get 600 miles a day. So do the math on that. I lost about $3,000. I was only making $160 a day breakdown pay. I could have got a hotel room, but I don't like hotel rooms. I don't like the energy of a hotel room. I absorb that stuff, and I was content staying in the truck, at the body shop, in the parking lot, with a broken window, okay, with a cardboard box over it, raining in very cold weather, but I had my pull-up bar and everything I need. So the guy totally screwed me. Then they rent me a truck, and the truck I got is the worst truck you could get in trucking. And there's like half the room that it had in my truck, and there's no area to put up my pull-up bar. So I have no pull-up bar, no refrigerator, half the room. I'm in a piece of shit semi-truck. It's fucking disgusting and dirty that they didn't even clean it. I made them clean it at the other place. I had to go get the rental truck. Another truck had to come pick me up from my company and drive me 200 miles to go pick up this piece of shit truck, bring it back, have them service it. And then when I get ready to leave, I hook up to our trailer, and just magically 2 airbags are busted on it. And so then I got to sit there for another 2 days or 1 day and have them fix it. So, and that doesn't happen. Like you don't get hit in a truck stop to the point to where your truck's totaled and it needs to be repaired. It has $20,000 in damage. So I think my reaction to the idiot that hit me was very warranted and called for. I was actually proud of myself for keeping my cool like I did. But I ended up making it back to my home base yesterday, and now I'm waiting for my company to install the ELD, like electronic logs. And I was able to pick up a load from Minnesota and bring it and drop it off, and then I've been off for a day and a half. So I'm not getting paid right now. I'm waiting for them to put the logbook, the electronic logbook, in my piece of shit, the rental truck. I'm waiting for them to fix my truck in Iowa. So what's going to happen is I got to drive this rental truck, the worst nightmare of a truck you could possibly imagine. I have to drive it probably for 3 weeks. No refrigerator, no pull-up bar. So I'm doing a lot more burpees. And everything, in my life is completely turned upside down because the dude that hit me was not only negligent, it wasn't even that he was a new driver. He was just like, how do you do that? You don't do that. That does not happen. You know what I mean? I believe in curses and bad energy, and I think that had something to do with it. But the dude that hit me was a total asshole. He was rude. He was confrontational when the cop was there, and I told him, when the cop leaves, if you want to back up because he was saying, "Oh, I'll kick your ass." And I was like, "Okay, well, when the cop leaves, if you consent to it, we'll see if you could kick my ass." And then he was just like, you want to fight over this? I'm like, you just destroyed my life, and then you're telling me you could kick my ass? Yeah, I do want to fight. So he moved and disappeared, and then I was screwed for 8 days, suffering, making peanuts compared to what I make driving. You know what I mean? So, and that doesn't happen at a truck stop. You get clipped at the very least, and that was a full-on accident. I was injured. My head was wrung from hitting, the wall. My neck and my back still hurt, and I have to drive. If I was to work at a company, I would never drive that truck, but I have no choice right now, because if I want to get my truck back, I have to drive this one, and eventually they'll send me back to Iowa when my truck is done, and I'll swap out the rental truck with the body shop, and then I'll be back in my truck. But the dude didn't just clip me, he hit me at a 45-degree angle with 6 foot of room on each side. And all he could complain about was, "Oh man, there was lights and I couldn't see, and it was, oh, poor me. And it's just like, dude, So that's an update with that. And so I'm back at my home terminal. I'm thousands of miles away from California, where, I think I'm going to eventually try to put in roots. Like my plan is to like work for like 4 to 6 months, save up some money, go back and try to take my degree, my college degree, and get a job, in an office. I don't want to do construction. I don't want to do trucking. I want a job to where I can use my degree. So that is what I'm going to try to do. And I've got a couple really good friends back there that really made me feel welcome when I was back home. One of the reasons I went back to work and one of the reasons why I got out of there was because I was kind of making bad decisions. I had a really chaotic falling out with Sarah. And I just knew that I needed to leave and not put myself in harm's way anymore, because what she was doing when I was with her was like completely crazy, delusional, schizophrenic behavior. And she ended up, she was seeing me having sex with invisible people. Okay, that's how bad this whole thing was. And then she was accusing me of stealing the stuff that she uses to party with. And I'm just like, you're out of your fucking mind. And, when you're sitting there trying to sleep and somebody flips out, like seriously, because they see you having sex with something that's not there, and they like borderline attack you, or, they're flipping out and drawing attention from the outside world, that's not a good thing. And then she started to talk about like, I'm going to call the police and tell them you're stealing my drugs and just stupid shit. And so when we parted ways, it was not good between us. And I was just like, if I don't leave and I keep running into her, this is going to end up getting ugly, because she started to draw attention from the outside world into my life, which I don't like, and threatening, I don't think she would ever call the cops on me, but I think she actually sees me having sex with people. I think she started to like me. And when somebody's jealous like that and they actually see you doing something that you're not, bad stuff can happen. And if a cop was to, get called and come and talk to us, I think maybe she would be so angry that she would say something that, would put us in harm's way. And so that's why I left and went back to work. But I was going to just stay and kick it and try to get a job. But I needed to get away, get my head straight, get some money saved up, and figure out what I'm going to do on the next leg of my journey. And my idea is to use my degree, get a job, put in roots back there in California, and try to get on my ex-wife's good side. And hopefully my daughter comes back into my life. That's the only thing I think that'll make me happy, is being with my daughter. And so that's what I have to do. And I can't have Sarah around, because she could put me in a situation to where police get involved, because she was drawing attention from the outside world, and just, it was getting crazy. Like I've been around a lot of crazy people, and that was something I've never experienced, that type of like delusional psychosis type of stuff. And the more she started to like me, she was seeing me having sex with invisible people in front of her when I'm sleeping, not even doing anything. A jealous woman in her state of mind could really, make something bad happen. So that's the case with that. But yeah, so I just packed up and left and I took a job at a company that I had worked for before. It's not good pay. However, because I'm an expert, experienced truck driver, I have hundreds of thousands of miles, I can get a job anywhere, and they're going to give me whatever I want. And I got everything I wanted, and then some idiot on day 3 of working crashed into me and destroyed my whole life. And so now I'm fighting to get back to where I was before, which is back in my Cascadia Freightliner, and that's the truck that accommodates my pull-up bar. It has a refrigerator. It's comfortable. It's a really nice truck. And now I have to live in shit, in squalor, and I'm just not very happy. And so back where I'm at right now, you know my routine. I work out. I mean, I met a girl the other day up here and went and had coffee with her earlier, and probably gonna get something going to where when I come back I can hang out with a woman. And so that's kind of cool. And just in the meantime, I'm just working, I'm grinding. And but I've got a crew back in SAC that I'm gonna go back to, my friends, like people that like having me around, and I'm gonna try to put in roots. And I think I could get a job with my degree in the in a field to where I can help people. I have a degree in behavioral science, so that's what I'm gonna try to do. This is restart my phone. As far as the trucking industry, nothing's changed in the trucking industry. Like, the only thing that has changed in the trucking industry is they're taking all this bad stuff that is happening, like whoever, that's causing accidents on the road, or people that are driving illegally. They're using it to implement a police state on everybody. So what the police are doing on the road is they're not really doing law enforcement. They're doing something to where they just want to try to pull over as many truckers as they can and give them tickets, because they make a lot of money, and the more tickets they give out, the faster truckers lose their license. If we get tickets, we get double points. And if you get a couple tickets, you'll be off the road and not working. They want people off of the road, okay? Our government, our system is at war with us. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter what language you speak. The system is at war with the people, and right now it's war on the truckers. And so when you're driving, if you have any interaction with the police, it's probably not going to be for any illegal thing that you've done. Is to try to make something out of nothing and give you tickets and accuse you of things. And so it's sketchy out there right now. It's real sketchy out on the road. And you have, the police are hunting people, and they want truckers off the road. They want trucks off the road. That's why the gas and the fuel or whatever is so expensive. So nothing's changed in terms of like they're changing it and things are going to get better. It's getting worse for the truckers. There's a war on the truckers, and the more tickets and problems they could cause for the truckers, the more truckers that they are able to sideline and get off the road. Fuel is more expensive than I've ever seen. When you get out into the Midwest and stuff, it's a little bit cheaper. Like, you'll be lucky if you could get gas for like $5 a gallon for diesel. You know what I mean? Whereas like out on the West Coast and deep in the East Coast, it's like $7. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Everything at the truck stops is super expensive. Everything has gone up like 100 to 200%. And the people that say it's 8% or 30% are fucking idiots, dude. Like, I've been living out on the road doing van life and doing trucking for 8 years off and on. And nothing's gone up 8%. It's gone up 80%, 100%, 200%, 300%. And so I don't eat the crap at the truck stops and stuff, but I buy coffee every once in a while. I buy chewing tobacco because I chew, and it's insane what they're doing to us. The pay is not going up, it's going down. The routes are getting harder. You have less time. Like, you don't have a lot of time to make your deliveries. I do long haul trucking because you at least have 4 or 5 days to make your delivery. And during that time, you're able to have somewhat of a life. Like me, I work out, I diet, I study, I listen. Now I just listen to music because it clears my head and it makes me feel better. The only stuff, like, I'll listen to Mr. Rizzoli's channel just to make sure he's healthy and shit. And then Alan Watt every once in a while, but most of the time I'm jamming music. The best thing I've done was to buy the premium subscription from YouTube, to where I could just listen to music continuously without the commercials. And but yeah, it's sketchy out on the road, man. And truckers, they get no respect. Like I said, they gave me a rental truck, and they gave it to me with a straight face, and it was disgusting. It was dirty. It wasn't properly maintained. It has the alignment's not good on it. And so you as a trucker, you're out on the road, you're just constantly getting screwed over. You're constantly getting screwed over, and you constantly have to worry about the police harassing you, annoying you, stalking you. I mean, they're hiding in bushes, they're hiding on top of bridges, and they're trying to do anything and everything they can to pull you over and to cause you problems. They have these little ways they can ticket you without giving you a ticket. They can do a roadside inspection and accuse you. Like, I got accused of having a radar detector, and they never found it. And he was able to put on the roadside inspection that he found it. And it doesn't show up as a ticket, but it still shows up on my driving record. Just little scantless, like, bullshit stuff that the system does. I've dealt with the system my whole life. I've been in and out. I'm county and state raised. So I know all the little games they play. And one of the reasons why I left California to do trucking is because that is the last place. There is nothing liberal about California, especially the laws, and it's just not a good place to do trucking. But yeah, nothing's changed. The trucks are still fucked up. Like, the equipment's still fucked up. The companies are just using the shit out of you. In the reason why I do truck driving is because I'm good at it. I'm an expert truck driver. I know the truck in and out. I can do anything in the truck. Like, yeah, I'm a good driver. Your number one priority when you're a driver is safety. You know what I mean? And I take that very serious. My truck is always pre-tripped. I make sure there's nothing wrong with it, because I'm out on the road, and my worst nightmare is something happening on the road that's out of my control indirectly, in hurting like a car with children in it or something. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I indirectly, because it would never be directly because I'm a safe driver, indirectly cause something to happen to somebody else, especially a child. And but people thinking like there's all these changes and they're doing better for the truckers and the equipment. It's still a fucked up job. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and the reason why I do it is because I'm good at it, and because it's easy to make money based on the way I live. Like, you guys know how I live. I live in a van by choice. If you want to do trucking and you want to make money and you want to have a decent life, you have to live like the Gypsy Fox. You have to work out every day, because trucking, people gain hundreds of pounds doing trucking. You have to, there's a lot that goes into it. You have to live on the road. You know what I mean? So when I'm not living in the truck, I'm living in the van. I shower at the gym. It's a hard life. It's not an easy life. And if you're out of shape and you're fat and you're disgusting and you're depressed, it's really a hard life. And so I try to make the best out of it. I treat it like I treat the job how I did when I was in prison. I have a program. I do certain things every single day. I do a certain number of pull-ups. I do a certain number of burpees, and the guy that hit me fucking ruined all of that. And so I can adapt, because that's what I do, is I adapt. I'm an adaptable creature, but it wears on you and it makes you tired. And if you think you're going to get into trucking and make money and have a normal life, it's not going to happen. If you're willing to live like I do and get a van and literally live like a gypsy, you can have a really good life. I can have a little bit of money, which wouldn't be a lot to somebody, but to me, I can live on that for months doing the van life stuff. But if you're doing the van life and trucking and you're making bad decisions and you're hanging out with people like Sarah and stuff like that, that could all come to a head very fast. And so you have to constantly be aware of where you're going with your life. And that's, I know when I'm about to hit a brick wall. I'm a survivor. And so I decided to have self-preservation. And every time I get into a sticky situation, I always say to myself, is this going to benefit my daughter? Like, can I bring this person around my daughter? Is this something that, my daughter would be proud of? And if it's no, 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 no across the board, I jump ship, you know? So right now I'm just buying time. I'm working. There's nothing going on this summer. Everybody all over the country is, like, everyone I know, like I said, is dead, in prison for the rest of their life, or they're completely strung out on drugs. Like, I have a lot of friends that are in Sarah's boat. They're living on the streets, and they're so screwed up on drugs that they've done things to me to where if I ever see these people, I'm gonna beat their ass. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of people that I loved and cared about that, you know, rip me off, or, you know, just stupid little shit that I take serious. I don't take treason very serious. You know what I mean? So if you fuck me over and you're my friend, we're gonna have a problem when I see you. And so the people that I do know, minus 4 people that I have back in Sacramento that I'm gonna build a friendship and a foundation with when I go back there, are completely strung out on drugs. They're all on fentanyl. They're doing meth and fentanyl, and that's not a good combination. And I think that's why, you know, Sarah is in the state of mind she's in and sees people that aren't there having sex with me. You know, that gets annoying, and it gets crazy when the person, you know, actually believes that and is causing you problems. Like, you know, it was crazy. Like, I got a lot of crazy stories. You know, like, I took her into the gym to take a shower. This is when I knew she was actually seeing people that weren't there. She was telling me, like, we were going to take a shower at a gym like I never even been to, and she was like, there was these women coming up to her and telling her that they're in a relationship with me, and that's when I realized, like, she's actually seeing this. And then she almost got me kicked out of a gym one day because she was in the shower by herself, walking around, talking to herself, saying, like, I'm gonna beat that bitch's ass for messing with my man. And someone told the manager, and the manager's like, hey, is that your girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah, why, what's up? And they're like, dude, like, we're not gonna kick you out or put a strike on your membership, but you got to tell her to knock that shit off. And they told me what she did. And then she would do other stuff when she was with me, and I realized, you know, like, she's in a jealous, psychotic state of mind, and she's seeing something that's not there. And the last day that we hung out, she was completely out of control. And when people start talking about the police, calling the police on me, or they want to see me go back to prison or something like that, that's a good way for me to cut ties with you. So that's what I did. Like, I don't ever think I'll see her again. I don't think she has more than 6 months before something bad happens to her on the streets. You know, heaven forbid, I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? You don't want to see your friend crash out. You know what I mean? And that's the route that she's on. And she's not taking me with her. You know what I mean? So I came back to work, but there's nothing different about trucking that's good. It's all worse. It's all more complicated. It's all more expensive. And you're getting paid less. The hours are longer. And if you don't have a strong mind and a strong body, in the will and in the tenacity, in, you know, like, not wanting to be complacent and apathetic, trucking will eat your ass alive. Okay, physically and mentally and spiritually, it'll destroy you. And so I'm always on my A game. You know what I mean? I'm always doing stuff to better myself. You know, Kadima. I'm always moving forward. And if I'm gonna put people around me, they gotta be thinkers. They gotta be soldiers. They gotta be, you know, like I said, I don't do treason. If you commit an act of treason on me, we're not gonna be cool anymore. And the people that were close to me were committing treason against me. And you know, I'm a good partner. I'm a good friend, and I'm very loyal. And when, you know, people are doing and accusing me of stupid drug addict psychosis retard shit, like retard shit, it's fucking retard shit, I don't do that. You know what I mean? I'm an intelligent guy, and if you're gonna be in my crew, you have to specialize in something. And if you're, you know, seeing fucking things that aren't there, and, you know, flipping out over it and drawing the attention from the outside world into my life, you know, fuck that. We're not going to be hanging out. So that's all the update. I mean, there's nothing, like, what do you think has happened? I don't really know, like, what you want me to say. Like, everything's fucked up. Everything's more expensive. just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, out there on the road. And the trucking companies don't give a shit about you. You're just meat in a seat. And if you let this job, it'll destroy you. But the only way you could have a good life as a trucker and be comfortable and be happy is if you live like the Gypsy Fox. And most people couldn't last 2 days living like me. It is not easy working out every day, taking showers at the gym, like, you know, in living in a truck and living in a van. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind. It's hard on your soul. And I maintain and sustain because, you know, I'm a convict and I've lived my life in the worst, harshest, dangerous, most, you know, painful environments you could possibly imagine since I was 13. And I have found a way to mentally, physically, and spiritually survive that kind of life. And I've taken the tools that I used in that world and I apply it to trucking and van life, and I'm able to look good, I'm able to feel good, I'm able to, you know, still shake and move. But if you're gonna do trucking and think you're gonna have a good life and you're gonna get a house and you're gonna have a family and everything's gonna be hunky-dory, it doesn't work like that. The only way you can make money and have money to do cool shit and be comfortable is if you live like me. And not very many people are gonna even attempt to live like me because they're not strong enough mentally and physically to do it. So that's the trucking update for Mr. Rizzoli. I'll upload this video for you guys. I hope you guys have a good one. The Gypsy Fox, and I'm out sideways. Thank you.